All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Our three remote attendees hear us okay?
Yes,
Okay, great. All right, so this is the September 9th meeting of the Patent Free Library Board of Trustees. I'll call the meeting to order. And we will go to, for the agenda, go to the secretary's report, which consists of the minutes of the last meeting, which was June 10th. Yes. Are there any comments, input, corrections, or other things to the minutes? I had a couple. Although I didn't.
Zoom, okay.
At the top of page 4, I think the top sentence, I think instead of community, it should be say committee. I think that's, it's Anthony, so I think it's a small thing. Then the other thing didn't the committee go into executive session after the regular session? I thought there was.
Yeah, because they.
I thought Michael. Okay, then I just mentioned them.
I see.
All we just say
They
is
announced me
that
before.
Jordan went into the executive session.
hey Leslie, I think the audio
Anything
input,
else?
Leslie,
And if not, then is there a motion to accept the minutes as amended? Okay.
Second.
All in favor? Approved with the small changes noted. Adjustments to the agenda, I'll only say that depending on the time pressures, we may move up the accessibility policy discussions since Leah has another competing commitment starting early this evening or later this afternoon. So anyway, we'll just try to we didn't have time at the last meeting to review the policy, so we'll try to give enough time today to do that.
Carl, can I make a technical?
I have a few comments to start out. This is the first meeting in 3 months. And I hope everybody's had a nice summer. Summer's not over yet. The kids are back in school. I can consider it, over until the weather really turns. And I think meteorologically, we're still in summer too. Well, we haven't, board has met for the last 2 months. Committee work has continued, and you saw in some of the reports and making firsthand all over. We want to note that the capital campaign continues to make progress. You'll hear more about that. You saw it in the documents as well. Nice thing is that phase 1 is essentially complete. Maybe you can tell by if you've been in the library the last month and a half or so, that's been fast and the cool air of the new heating and ventilation system. So it's a real watershed for the library. It's now a comfortable environment, regardless of the weather, which also provides better conditions for the collection and materials, as well as staff, and of course, all the patrons. Before we go on, although I've been preempted already spontaneously, I want to recognize make a few recognitions.
Not hearing anything.
Hello.
needs to increase, improve, getting the library's message out and boosting support. More about that. The importance of the donor stewardship plans, even greater than it has been in the past, both for the annual fund and the capital campaign. So I think those are all things that we should keep in mind as we look for work on this coming year, get back into this full swing of things. Those are my opening comments. If anyone wants to make any, I'll also say when we go to we go on to the consent agenda, we have committee reports, that any of the people representing the various committees, please don't hesitate to speak up if you would like to see increased membership in the committee. I know some of them some people have been some resignations. So make your pitch for more people to join in and assist on the committee's efforts. Okay. All right. With that, let's move to the librarian's report.
Okay. Welcome, happy fall, everyone. I wanted to give just a couple of updates, but and one of the things that's going to happen during my report is I've asked Mary Randall, our head of children's services, to give a summer reading sort of wrap up. And I won't say too much except that it was a fantastic summer. So I'm going to let her tell you all about that. But before I do that, I do want to give an update a little bit with EMC. So Carl was correct and we're very close to wrapping up the project with EMC, but there are a few little things still need to be done. One of them is we are not live yet with the solar on the roof. We're still waiting for some additional anchors to arrive. And we need those because we have some solar arrays that are less than 6 panels as a result of having that 4-foot setback for the walkway. So there has to be additional anchors to hold them in case of strong winds. So we're just waiting on the anchors. They're due to arrive any day. Then the roofing company has to install them. They're gonna do that immediately. And then Synergy is gonna come in right behind, install the final panels. And then the Bath Code Office has 72 hours to review the final installation before then they can actually go live. And then we have the final coordination with CMP after that. So we're so close. And then just some small punch list items. One of the things you may have noticed if you've walked through the fiction stacks, we're still waiting on custom cabinets to be finished that are gonna cover those heat pumps that are kind of against the wall along the floor. So they'll hide those and make it look just as nice in there as it always does. So we're waiting on that and a few, odds and ends and some cosmetic things around the building. But I can say it's been a fantastic summer. I don't know how we managed without the AC before, but we're so grateful to have it. It's made all the difference in the world. As I said in my report, patrons are noticing it. It's big sigh when they walk into a cool library when it's beastly hot outside, and it's just been terrific. So we're thrilled about that. And then one other thing, we are waiting on about $150,000 in Efficiency Maine rebate, and Efficiency Maine is coming tomorrow morning to walk through with our EMC project manager to take a look at the facility with the installation. So we're hoping we will be receiving those funds very shortly after that. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna keep it pretty brief because I really want to turn it over to Mary so she can tell you all about the summer. So you wanna
Yeah,
sit here?
oh, sure, I was gonna, yeah.
Lori Keeps. What's going on here? It's-
Here she comes.
Yeah, she's been in and out a couple times. I'm not sure if she's losing connectivity or. But why don't you, if you wanna take over so you
Sure,
can.
yeah. Absolutely.
Can I ask a quick question about the air conditioning? Is the training happened? I mean,
No, not yet.
So that's one
That's part of the
piece.
final commissioning. So the training has not happened yet.
All right, yes, I'm going to double monitor here. Give me 1 second. I know, fancy. You have Where did your link
It's
go?
under, I think it's in the Google Chrome.
Let's see, oh, yes, all right.
Oh, there we go.
Lovely. All right, we're in presentation mode. Does that look right?
You can, yeah, down at the bottom, it should allow you to switch.
That's okay. It's just a fun little, oh, here. Whoops. All right, I'm just gonna do small, we're fine. So this, I don't know why it's looking like that. That's okay, it's cute.
Great work.
So this is, if anyone has any ideas as to why it's not working, let me know. All right, so our summer reading program was June 20th to August 15th, and the theme was Level Up at Patent Free Library. Yeah, I don't know, this is throwing me off a little. Oh well, all right, I'm not gonna look at it. So it was, as Leslie said, a roaring success. I'm gonna throw a lot of numbers at you, but they're good numbers. So over the 3 months, June, July, August, we had across the board, over the whole library, adults, teens, children, we had 195 programs that were either run by outside or by yours truly. And so that includes the regular programming that we do. For example, in children's, it's I Run the Story Time, Baby Time. We have Lego Club, Minecraft Monday, Read to a Dog, all of those good things. But then added on top, it was all sorts of remarkably fun programs like a puppet show and baking classes and live animal shows. So those 195 programs brought in approximately 3,656 people, patrons, to our events, which is amazing. I kept telling my staff, if it feels busy, it's because it is. So our kickoff event was June 20th. I'm not sure, I think a few of you may have wandered by. It was quite the event because lost power
Yeah.
45 minutes in, I believe, and so the bounce house was slowly collapsing and
Rapidly.
rapidly collapsing. And Samantha luckily was our staff person manning the bounce house and ushered all of the children out very quickly. there was a little hullabaloo there, but regardless, we still had around 300 people come to the event. It was great. We gave away free books, free ice cream, and we signed everyone up for our bingo sheet. So last year we had about 510 people ended up registering for summer reading, which is beyond what we had anticipated. What I had hoped for was around 200 people signing up. We had 510. So this year I said, that's fine, 500, 510, that's a lot of people and I feel good with that number. But of course, we had more. We had 549 people sign up for summer reading. The age breakdown went as such. So we had 305 children sign up, 87 teens, and 157 adults, which is a lot. It's great. I know, yeah, it's a good number. If anyone has any questions, by the way, feel free to interrupt me at any time. It is a lot of numbers. So the service area breakdown, it's about what we expected, I believe. It sort of mimics years previous. 288 Bath residents coming up after Woolwich with 109, West Bath 78, Georgetown 21. I'm not sure why Arousic's name didn't appear. I think it's too long. 17.
Small but mighty.
A small,
Yes, right, small but mighty, yes, there we go.
And then Phippsburg, I put it in there just for fun, was 13. So very close to Arousic, which is great. And then other, which includes RSU1 students who maybe do not live in our official service areas, as well as staff members. So that was about 26 people. So a solid breakdown.
Oh, it's good.
And then, so what I was doing with the children's department is we had a bingo sheet, which I'm sure you all saw floating around at some point. I always ask the kids, who here has played bingo? I don't generally have to ask adults that. We've all played bingo, so we know the concept. We would give out a bingo sheet. If they got a classic bingo, If they got a classic bingo, they got a prize. And then if they got a full blackout, just speak louder. I don't know.
This one right here just kicked on,
Cool.
probably heated it up.
I truly believe that anywhere I go brings drama. I'm not sure what it is. I came back and things just, started going a little wild. I will just speak louder and we need to pause for any reason, let me know. It's fine. Where was I? Yes, bingo versus blackout. So blackout was for the hardcore kids. It was, you had to get every single square, all 25 squares. And you got entered in to win either a bicycle or a $100 gift certificate to Island Treasure Toys. And we did amazingly. So we had about 305 kids register. We had 134 complete the bingo. And then 75 complete the blackout, which is, I know, it always surprises me. I should know this. They got a t-shirt and they got entry into their choice of either going into the raffle for the bike, going into the raffle for the gift certificate. So what a whirlwind. Everyone has picked up their prizes. I will say that when we found out who won the bike, I almost made every librarian cry when I told them who won. It was a girl who tried really hard and we all were very psyched that she won.
Oh.
It was very sweet, very sweet. So last year versus this year, as we said, across the board, we did better. Registrations last year was 510, this year 549. Adults, it was 136, this time it's 157. Teens, it was 81. It's not at 94, my bad. 87. We squeaked in. And then kids, it was 260 last year, 305 this year. So we're continually growing. I think you're all gonna laugh a little bit at this next one. This is, I just did service areas. If you look, it's basically all looks like it's just about the same. Everyone, Arousik, it was 2 more, which I don't know why that's so silly to me. What is bizarre is Bath also was like pretty close. The only one that we dropped, and I'm not sure what happened, so I'm gonna have to discuss Georgetown. We dropped a little, but everyone else, West Bath went from 45 to 75.
Wow.
Go put that at your, that meeting.
Yeah.
Woolwich went from 90 to 109.
Oh.
And so I think what these numbers are telling me is that as this program continues the way that I've been running it, hopefully with the work that we do, going out into the schools, inviting the schools into the library, having that relationship with these schools has really started to uptick participation. And I know that all of like the community members we talk to, like all of you talk about the summer reading program when you can. Dawn and I have discussed it, and Sarah, one of our librarians, came and did a lovely presentation for her class. So I purposefully was really pushing West Bath and Woolwich this year, and I'm gonna fold in. I was pushing with Georgetown and Rossick as well as much as I could, but no, all good. But I will say that being in the schools, like I did multiple visits, really I think did affect the numbers in positive ways.
Mary,
Yes,
were you able to visit the Georgetown School at all?
they came to us. So we had some Georgetowners, not everybody, but Georgetown came to us, but I did not get into the school.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I think I tried, I reached out to a few different people, but it just never quite worked out, but they did come to us, which was nice. So the summer was, I mean, a really, really successful summer. I think you can see too, if you looked at our circulation numbers, June and July for us were just insane. August was normal. It was about normal, like what it was last year. And we've just had an absolutely insanely busy summer. Huge kudos to my staff for being just the best. So Karen, Gia, Meredith worked really hard. Meredith did all the grab and go kits. She upped the amount that she did, so there would be enough because that was one of the bingo squares. It really was a huge team effort. Thank you to all of the people on the committee that helped plan it, like Laurel and Sarah and Hannah. But yeah, it was a lot of people, 3,656 patrons in the building, so that air conditioning really did help. Yeah, so that's me. That was summer reading,
Great.
rip roaring success.
Success.
Yes, great.
Thank you.
Any
Thank you.
questions for Mary?
Any questions for Mary?
I have a comment, not from Mary, but just a general comment that these kind of statistics should be part of our presentation when we go before the communities. That increase in village,
Mhm.
I'm sorry, West Bath.
That's huge,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and you know, I've got them, got a big breakdown. If you're interested, I got even more nitty gritty. I didn't, with like breakdown of kids versus adults in each service area as well. So I have those numbers too. I have plenty of numbers if you're.
Great. Probably draw on those, Mary, for one as we,
So,
especially as we get closer to budget time.
Yeah, yeah,
so
absolutely.
you haven't, you gave out a lot of bingo cards, but you didn't get them all back, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
Yes, yep.
but one of the good things about it, and I don't know if everybody else did this, I picked things that I wasn't trying to get a bingo, but I wanted to do things I'd never done before.
Yeah.
And that was really good. That was a really good, and you could promote that. I mean, that's a really good thing to think about.
So one of the reasons I do the bingo sheet, I'll just say quickly, is because the way the bingo sheet works, I like to sort of promote this concept of literacy. Yes, of course, books, always, but there is a literacy to be had in navigating the library. So one of the things that we do is we have you talk to a librarian about a book recommendation, or you have to find a certain book like about like a nonfiction book set in, you know, the summer, or you know, stuff like that. So it just gives the kids a reason to sort of get out into the community, get to the library. So there's a lot that goes into it, but yes, thank you. I'm glad
Good
that.
job.
Great, great
Right.
stuff, Mary. Thank you.
Yes, of
Thank you.
course.
Mary. Wonderful.
Next, we have Rebecca there online. She can give us.
Hello, I am here.
Do you, Rebecca, want to be made host, or can you?
Yeah, if I could share my screen, that would be excellent.
I don't wanna. Thank you. Thanks.
Okay, let me share.
Go.
It's good to see everybody. The summer was so fast and also so long at the
I hear
same
you.
time.
Do you have this plugged in, the? Oh, yeah.
So, Rebecca, we can't hear
I hear
you.
you, Rebecca.
I don't think I'm muted. That might not be on my end.
We can hear you.
Wait, hold on a minute, we still can't hear you, so.
I can hear you, Rebecca.
One of you
so
type in the chat that you can hear me.
Yes, but not this, like, but yes, there's a. it's
Samantha's texting.
Oh, interesting. I'm pretty sure, I'm just thinking that that's really.
Rebecca, try now.
Can you hear me? Any progress?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Should I get started?
Yeah, please.
Yes,
Thank you.
okay, great. I was just saying, I haven't seen so many of you all over the summer. I hope everyone had a really nice summer. It's been nice. I would venture to say that I've been a little chilly in the boardroom these past few weeks. So everything is definitely firing on all cylinders with the energy project. A good update for us today. So to date, we have raised 2,731,000 and some change. That is just about half and half between cash in hand and planned pledge payments. Recent gifts since I reported to you all in June include a 25,000, a 20,000, a 5, and a 2. We spent a lot of time doing internal work this summer. It may not surprise you to hear that it's hard to do meetings during the summer. Not a lot of folks are around looking to have a nonprofit solicitation. So we expect it to be a little slower, and we're not concerned with the cadence at all. This is just the visual depiction of where we are. What we'll want to see is all of these pinks turning into yellows. And we're trucking along. I think we're going to do really well in the months ahead. Over the summer, we worked with a professional, like graphic designer, communications specialist, to just take that case for support that we had developed internally and put at a very low cost as a favor to the library to put some professional touch on it. And we've had those printed up. We have a really nice folder now and pitch deck to guide our donor meetings. We also engaged in some prospect research, looking at using a lot of different ways to sort of think of other names of people who are engaged with the library and to figure out who among them might be someone we didn't realize could be a big supporter. So we've done a lot of work on that. We did, there are about 300 households that we looked into. We've got some good fall momentum with 6 lead gift solicitations just in September. One of them was earlier this week and resulted in a verbal $15,000 commitment. That's not included in those numbers earlier, so I called that one in process. And oh, that was all I wanted to share. So you have a more in-depth update, a quarterly update in the board packet, and I'm happy to answer any questions anyone has.
So Rebecca, one question in terms of the final phase, or when we go out to make a more public phase, is that when we reach 75% or 85% of our total? I saw 2 different figures. And
Yes, I think you saw 75% or 90%. So I think the old tried and true campaign science would say to do that at the 75% mark, but most campaigns locally have been waiting until 90%, just because we've learned that public phase outreach, which includes email and mail contact to everyone in your community, does not raise very much money. And the danger of doing that too soon is that someone who you were planning to ask for a lead gift may receive that and give $100 instead of $10,000, and you've kind of missed your chance. So my recommendation to my clients is usually to just wait as long as possible for that. And that's usually just like a 3-month capstone at the end of the campaign. So you want to know you're pretty darn close to done before you really start putting that word out and inviting the lower level support.
Are there other questions for Rebecca? Any comments?
I have a question, Rebecca, or maybe this is a Samantha question, but the finalized case for support and stuff you just had designed, will that eventually be in the on the Google Drive, the trustees drive, for us to just look at if we want to?
Yes, we should absolutely put it on the Google Drive. Thank you, Samantha. And then if you want to see the glossy hard copy, Cookie has quite a few in her office. I think we only printed 50 though, because we knew that we wanted, it's hard to make those evergreen. So we want to be able to update them and then print the next batch if things change.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Rebecca, thank you.
Thank you so much. Take care, everyone.
You, thanks.
Congrats on summer reading. That's amazing.
Oh, yes, I got, oh.
Next is the consent agenda. Is there a motion to accept the consent agenda? Michael, second?
Yes.
Okay, all in favor? So now we have the monthly staff report and then the various committee reports. Are there comments on, let's start with the monthly staff report?
Just as always, I'm really impressed with how much staff gets done.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Hats off.
Yeah.
Can I just mention one staff? Because on the history, Jack Martin, he didn't put anything that he's done with the Arts Committee. He's facilitated the Arts Committee, and that he ought to be recognized for that too.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been really helpful. Yeah.
Do you think that there should be a separate report by the Arts Committee?
I think
Included in the packet?
we're gonna meet on the 17th. And I
Okay.
think after that, I'm gonna try to make sure that there's something for each board meeting. If
Yeah.
that's okay with you guys.
Oh, absolutely. I think we'd be very interested,
Okay,
very eager to
yeah.
learn what's going on.
Yeah, that would be.
There were so many, I agree with, I mean, there were so many things to recognize and kudos. I did start making a list and it was, thought it's gonna be boring. But,
Yeah.
But I thought too, what struck me too was the 3 programs that Elizabeth wrote about technology.
Yes,
I thought those were really impressive and
very huge.
timely, very responsive to the communities and the library's needs. So that was great. I had one question about the new card holder event in October. I wasn't clear just what's involved in that.
And Hannah wanted to remind everyone that it's October 16th. This is National Library Card Sign Up, which is an ALA-led project that all public libraries participate in. We have a goal that we would like to get 200 new card holders. These are people, brand new cards for brand new people. If we reach that goal, or if we come close, we are going to have an after hours event on October 16th. And we're going to invite all the new card holders to come in and have a tour of the library, and we'll have staff and board, hopefully, at different stations so they can find their way around the library. We'll have refreshments. I think it'll be a really nice.
Okay.
That's really.
So there is a sign up sheet that went out to the
Yeah.
board through Sign Up Genius.
Yep.
If you, and many of you have already signed up, but I told Hannah I would remind you again.
Okay, great, thank you. Yeah. Let's go on the list here, building and technology.
I can report on a subcommittee of the subcommittee on the technology planning. They asked me to update on that. That is the technology planning to develop essentially a technology strategic plan for the library. And we're 2 main components of that, of the work that we're doing, are the third-party assessment, which we hired Blue Spruce to do an assessment, and that's in the final review stages. So that will be available soon. And we are also having an event. It was going to be busy, but October 22nd, an evening event, and that is a community visioning session. And the name of that is Dream Build, Big, Build Forward. Dean has written up a statement on what we hope to get from that community-wide experience. There will be a role for everybody to play: corporators, trustees, staff, community members.
Say the name of the whole thing again, green what?
Dream big,
Oh, dream big.
build forward.
And could you, I'm sorry, Liz, could you repeat the date?
October 22nd.
October 22nd.
From 6 to 8. And you will be hearing more about that.
Okay.
And from that and the work that we'll be doing with designated staff, we'll have what we need to create this plan going forward. So we'll have engagement from staff, community, or outside party who did our assessments. So
Right.
very thorough. It's been absolutely terrific working with Dean. He's as a visionary. Yeah.
It's a great asset.
Yes, absolutely.
Some stuff.
Thank goodness you didn't fail there.
Oh, I have a question.
Peggy?
I was wondering about documenting all of the new, everything EMC has done. Do they, like a manual or something for the future? With the
EMC?
heating and the,
Yes. Okay, so you want to talk about EMC as
Sorry,
well, the whole project, how is that?
It's in our contracts that we will get a manual and we will get all kinds of information. Yeah, it's
For future
that's in
staffing and whatever, because hopefully.
that's in the contract that
Okay,
we
so
will
we will
receive
get
that.
that
We will.
and training, well.
Yes,
Mhm.
that's,
There'll be documentation for like future staff, if there's new staff and this staff is all gone.
yes.
To, there was mention in one or maybe both of the reports in building and technology about consulting with other libraries about their facilities management.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering what
Yes.
came out of that.
So we're just starting this year-long process with the plan that by the end of the summer, the committee will have a recommendation for some options for moving forward. So right now, we're doing a lot of things. We're looking at libraries that have facilities managers and looking to see what their job descriptions look like. So we're doing a whole combination of things. I've been keeping track of the hours that I spend doing various facilities tasks. So and we started talking about that at each building and technology meeting.
And not just libraries, so you're talking to other organizations as well, other nonprofits?
Well, that's where we started with libraries. I'm sure we will be as well. So we're reaching far and wide. Nonprofits, we're looking at things like in-house versus a company, we're
Right.
really looking at every possibility. So this is just the beginning of months.
I'd be curious to get updates on that as
Yeah.
we go.
Yeah, and so I also hope that, if we'll eventually have somebody that's like on the building and technology committee that's a trustee that can report a little more fully at those meetings, but I'll take that information back. It's really exciting.
Is that something that could be RFP by the library?
Could be if that's the recommendation that we go with a company to outsource this, absolutely. So I think still a lot to be determined whether, how much time, whether it's a full-time position, whether it's an in-house position or a combination or, all of the above.
So have any of these discussions started, Leslie?
At the Building and Technology Committee, we started at the August meeting. We just started the discussions.
But no discussions with outside groups yet.
No, we're just doing fact finding at this point. That's all. Yep.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
Accessibility entrance,
That's.
it's been mentioned in a couple of the different minutes, so just status with the city and.
Oh, yeah. So we are now just waiting for, the city has sent an RFP, they have a contractor. So we're just actually waiting to hear about when that's going to start, because it's a much obviously bigger project than just our entrance. So it's going to happen in the fall. I don't have any information yet on when. This is gonna involve the whole parking lot. I've heard they're gonna start work on the gazebo soon. It also involves lighting, so there will be some disruption, obviously, to the library. But I don't know exactly the details or when that'll start. I can tell you that we are going to put in on our own some additional railings on the Front Street steps that currently do not have any, and the few steps that go up to the library. So that's gonna be a nice addition.
Oh, good.
So that's an additional piece that we're paying for. And most of the money for our accessibility entrance is being paid for from that ARPA grant that we
Right.
received a couple of years ago. Just to remind you of that, and we'll have to use a little bit of money from the capital campaign above and beyond, but not a considerable amount. So yeah, I'm just really waiting to hear from the city, but they've moved forward. Pine Tree Engineering, or Jeremy Crew, excuse me, of Pine Tree they're overseeing the project for the city. So that's moving along. Soon we'll start to see some work, and I'll give everyone an update as soon as I have it on when that might begin.
Thanks. To finance, anything in addition to what you've read in the report? I don't know if Tommy wants to say anything separately.
Yeah, Carl, there's the one thing I wanted to make sure the trustees were aware of. There's, it's in the minutes, I think, from the July meeting, but there is a trust that the library is a beneficiary of that has no longer any living trustees. So we need some legal help to do whatever we can to get that gift to the library. So I just wanted the trustees to be aware, and we need to sort of reach out to an appropriate lawyer to take care of that. Leslie has the details about.
Is the library the sole beneficiary?
No. I can fill you in. I have an idea of an attorney to reach out to too. This is all fairly recent over the summer.
Okay.
So I can give you the details. No, we are not the sole beneficiary. There are two other nonprofits.
Is time ripe for distribution of the entire trust?
Well, there are no more trusts, there are no more living
Yeah.
trustees, so we have the original documents.
And what does it say about the time for distribution?
That's what I'll share all that with you, and you can help us out, that'd be great.
The lawyer.
I will be happy to do that.
Okay.
I can look at it if it's not something that requires legal expertise by a licensed Maine attorney,
Yeah.
because I no longer carry a Maine license.
And I do have someone to contact as well.
Yeah. But if it's something that's just that the library can do without an attorney, I'll let you know that.
Yes, that would be terrific.
All right,
Right.
great, thank you, Michael. Anything else, Tommy, wanted to?
No, I'll just point out that it looks like we're going to come in from last year with a surplus of about $30,000. We don't know for sure yet because we haven't had the financial review yet, but that's what appears to be the case. So kudos to Leslie and the team
Yes.
for their
Yeah.
efforts.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I do have an endowment update if anybody's interested. As of yesterday, the value of the endowment located at Vanguard and also Vanguard located with the Bass Savings Trust totals $8,987,253.
Thank you.
Oh, did we mention, maybe people are aware of it, that in regard to finance, we switched accounts. Tommy mentioned the financial review, that we have a new firm now using One River. That was finalized, so.
Excellent. Excellent.
And just a follow-up question, Leslie, have you informed Bill Brewer?
I have.
Okay.
One question that,
Yeah.
I think it's from the July for finance, brainstorming ideas about handling of the endowment draws for the next fiscal year. What's that referring to?
You say that again?
Brainstorming ideas for handling of endowment draws.
Right.
was-
Well,
What's
we were
action?
we were thinking it's probably no longer a thing, but we were thinking of a few months ago, we were predicting a lot more uncertainty, volatility in the stock market, and we were thinking that we might do well to withdraw the whole year's worth of endowment up front, rather than have it be 200 now, 100 in a few months, another 100 in a few months. But the market conditions haven't really deteriorated like we thought, so we're just going to leave it the way we normally do it.
Anything else? Let's move on to the Friends report. Are there any comments about that? Doing great work.
They are.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Then more is coming. I just started working at the bookstore.
Oh,
yay!
I did.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
Tuesday
great
morning, come
there.
and see me.
Okay.
10 to 1.
Did they invite the president of the Friends to a board meeting? I just thought that.
Yes, we've done that, but
We did that. I think they're
It's in
based in
France.
France. I did, so I didn't hear
She's
back.
what?
So
Okay.
they're
They're
away.
till tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
so
hopefully we'll
that
get
was
it next
originally on the agenda for tonight's meeting, but we'll
Good. Next meeting?
do it next week,
Next
next
Okay.
month, yeah.
Okay, excellent.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. Governance, there's no report. What we have is a big governance, issue
Yeah.
under new business, the bylaws.
Right.
So that
Right.
will be the main thing, I think. We also have, I read the charter from the development committee, right? That the governance committee is to review.
Yes.
So I don't have anything else to add for governance. Policy and personnel, is there anything?
I'm just gonna mention that we did meet yesterday, and so don't know if the minutes made it to the board packet, but the staff are all on the email system, so which is a big accomplishment. So there are 2 documents that were a new policy for patent-free library email usage, and that should be ready for next month. So that was edited yesterday, and also some editing, reviewed and edited, presented by Elizabeth. And document retention and destruction policy from Leslie, that was edited, and that's also for next month.
All right. The treasurer's report, Anthony did not make it tonight's meeting. So we do have the revenue and expense reports. But are there any? I think we did not find anything out of the ordinary on this. Are there any questions?
There. Wash. When you went over on some, you went under on others, so.
Okay. Any questions relate, or do you want to pose it, need to address? Turn. Right. The development report.
You can hear me over this.
And leave that while you talk.
Awesome, thank you. The annual fund as of today. $5,905 plus $10,221 in pledges. Just a reminder that our goal this year is 5,000 more than last year, 155. So do you have a sense, Samantha, for where we are compared to last year? Those numbers.
We're behind. Yeah.
So Samantha is currently handing out board pledge forms, which is very important. 100% board participation is very important. So please return these to Samantha when you are able. All board members except page turners will still be mailed an appeal in the fall to your homes with all the appeal materials. So you'll get to see what all that looks like. Hats off to Samantha for coming up with a lovely new theme, the heart of it all, which I think is awesome.
Brilliant.
Your gift supports the place where learning, connection, and community come together. So there's more details on that in the board packet, but it's great. It's gonna be a lot of fun to play with visually and words. And we were talking at the development meeting in August that it'd be fun to have like a back Valentine's Bandit when that time comes around. If it's, you can make that work. But anyway, there's a lot you can do with it. And then stewardship plan, that was included in the board packet. Just if the board could review that if you haven't already, because it wasn't part of the original development plan when we approved it at the end of last fiscal year. And then just a reminder that we do have a John Patton Society event coming up September 27th from 2 to 4 in the reading room. Attendees will include major fund donors, campaign donors giving more than 10,000, and JPS Society members. Board representation is very important. There's going to be a little program. There's going to be some nibbles and some tea and drinks, and it'll be a nice little afternoon event. And then looking forward, the appeal mailing is going out early November, and we will need board members to come in and sign letters. So just have that sort of set up in your mind that you need to make some time leading up to probably the end of October.
In October, I'll have it, hopefully, I have it almost ready to go. But I'm just not emotionally ready to let it go. But as soon as it gets back, Cookie and I will coordinate with everybody the best way. I think this year we are gonna have it be signed, like have the notes happen in-house because it's difficult to take them out and put them back in, and it's just a lot of work. So, but we'll set up a bunch of times once it's here. So I'll try to have it for a few weeks, you know.
Give us plenty of time.
Yeah, yeah.
And I had a little note to myself to remind everybody about the September library card event in October, the new card holders event that Hannah's looking for help with. So I only just got around to signing up today, but I noticed there's still a lot of help that needs to happen. Set up selling t-shirts and things.
T-shirt,
and
yeah. Oh, I should have brought it up. Oh, buy one of those t-shirts downstairs.
I bought my t-shirt already. What do all the dates mean? They must mean something. Is that a
Very big question. I'm not gonna answer because I don't know, but I do know what they mean. I do know. So Jack worked with the person who won our design contest. She had, just made random dates. And so then Jack reached out to her and gave her very important historical dates in the library's history.
I know, so I picked some of them, but I'm
And
not.
then part of the new card holder event is there's gonna be a contest to see how many from like multiple choice options people can pick the correct event to the date. So, but Jack is the holder of all of that information, so.
Yeah, I love the t-shirt. It's
I
great.
just bought one today, so.
They feel so good.
Yeah, that's great.
They're very nice.
Hannah and I have a pretty good process with the merch now, and if we, it's unfortunate, they cost a lot. So, we've already blown through over half the merch budget just buying those, but they're so cute, so, yeah. So buy yours today. They go up in October. They're $15 for the month of September, but come October, they're going to be $20. So it's a special cardholder month.
I should wear it when I'm working at the bookstore.
Exactly.
You need, and in the past, I know Eileen, you've talked about the encouraging people, additional members for the development committee. That still holds?
I think so, yeah,
Yeah.
always. I mean, Leah's been coming, which has been great, and I think there's with the new Friends leadership, they've been to a few, at least one.
Yeah.
So we're still trying to cultivate. We definitely need, and on the capital campaign committee connected to
Mhm.
development, we definitely need.
Yeah.
We need some Georgetown.
We need some Georgetown.
People. So yes, please, and thank you. We only meet every other month now, so and we
Yeah,
have
for
a subcommittee
development
for events, so
committees.
it's like it's a lot more
And it's
manageable
Zoom.
time wise in Zoom, right?
Yeah, it's not early. We don't do an early morning.
That's right. You finance people with your committee meetings.
And but building grounds, building can take to early too.
I had a question on the development, the fiscal year 25 review document, the PDF. First of all, you've probably told me this before, but you know, I'll have to ask again. What does the abbreviation ANATP mean?
Oh, a night at the patent.
Oh,
Sorry.
There's
okay.
another one, but there's
A night at the patent.
there's the one with all the charts and it's S and L, da 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 da, and L, da da da.
Some years, but not this year, so Cybun.
The Cybun.
Yeah, so yeah.
The Libun is last year, but not this, and Cybun is some year, but not this.
Last
So
year, but not-
lapsed and active.
Tell me about,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm not getting the whole financing picture, but as I read the bar chart, bar
Yeah.
graph at the beginning with the individuals.
Yep.
And well, the goal was 120,000. We got 101,801.
It
And
doesn't add up because this is just the response to the appeals. So we have a lot of donors who give unsolicited.
okay,
So that anything that's not there is things that didn't come in from an appeal directly.
I see saw the notation about the unsolicited gifts, so that's what I wondered.
Yeah,
about,
or like
because-
event tickets, things like that. So these are more just like on a direct mailing that I've done and the response rate to that. So
Yeah, because I was figuring trying to figure out how
yeah,
to made up the 18K
an
difference
event
between
and
that
Yep,
and knowing that we
auction.
exceeded that, yeah. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, and unsolicited, we do
Yeah.
just get gifts sometimes, or, sometimes they come in and we're like, it might have been from the spring appeal, we're not sure, so we'll just mark it unsolicited, sometimes there's that, but yeah.
Okay. All right.
I wondered about the corporators. I think you made note that the corporators, some of the corporators who hadn't given, that was going to come to the governance committee, and
I gave Rick a while back all the data. We don't, 100% of corporators don't give any year.
Yeah.
Some of what you saw for this year was at the corporator meeting, we took pledges, which is something we'd never done, and to help the corporators kind of like buy into the annual appeal early. And we almost met our goal, but some of those pledges were unfulfilled. So they made a pledge at the meeting, but then we reached out, Eileen and I did a bunch of active, emails and phone calls or whatever, and they didn't end up completing their pledge. But we never get 100% corporator giving.
and do they get the regular appeals, or do they get something
Well,
separate, or?
They get the
Second.
regular appeal, but Carl, he usually signs those instead of a pre-printed Carl Albert on it. I take it off and they get signed, and almost always we make sure that a board member writes a note on a corporator letter. Sometimes the language in the letter will say, as a corporator, I don't think I did that this year, but in some ways they are identified as separate and given a little extra stewardship in there. So.
We had a list of corporators who had not engaged at all. that
Mhm.
we Sent on to Steve to see if governance wanted to,
I think that was the.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I think he was too caught up in the bylaws and stuff.
Yeah, we had
He wasn't able to respond to that.
That I think was my question, because I saw that and I didn't remember
Yeah.
that we had
Yeah.
discussed that at.
We weren't sure whether there was, we didn't want to step on anything that you guys were already doing in terms of modifying.
right,
the way you're-
because in the past, Leslie and I have really, mostly Leslie has taken over just reaching out to the corporators who haven't given and trying to urge them to give, which has in the past has, bumped us up pretty high, but this year, like Eileen said, you guys were doing some corporator stuff, so we were like, don't want to step on any toes or double ask or, you know, anything like that. So we just stuck with those who had given a pledge and didn't fulfill it.
Else, we move on to town area school activities, right? Do they have anything to report? You know, the school just started again. So. Different.
Do the kindergarten still come and visit in the fall, like right when school starts?
First grade.
First
Great,
grade.
great.
I
Right?
don't think it's in the fall anymore. I think it's
Yeah.
actually a little bit later on, like in the spring,
Ah,
after they've sort of established, or I could be wrong though.
Yeah, I think, and isn't she doing a kindergarten? Like, isn't that the 1,000 books by kindergarten?
That's something
That's
else.
reading.
Yeah, I'll have to
It's
ask.
first graders that come
Before
in.
they go to kindergarten.
Before
Yeah.
kindergarten.
That's
Yeah.
another
I
new
was gonna say, that would be an
initiative.
easy way to do that 200 new cards in September. Just kidding.
I know.
We do, yeah, I'll have to ask her here, but we do have, she has some things in the works. She maybe, I just don't wanna speak without
Mhm.
remembering exactly.
They did just kindergarten registration here and we did
Okay.
some new cards.
Yeah, we did
Mhm.
promote that,
Oh,
yeah.
good.
Do they count? Do those,
I'm
were
sorry,
they included, those that you did? Were
Yeah.
they in
Oh, September.
that was in August.
Oh, well.
Yeah, that was,
Oh.
yeah, that was.
How it comes out.
Late August.
I think we still have my kids' original library cards with like their
The old logo.
their scrawl on the back.
I still have both of my kids too.
Yeah.
Okay.
A good opportunity to,
Great.
again, with municipalities to reach out.
Exactly.
All right, move on to old business. I've got, didn't have anything in particular in mind today on that. It's been a couple new business items. I will point out too, and some of you, if you looked at, that this month's agenda had a second page, which includes the mission statement,
Yes.
which we can talk about a little bit. We've one long time ago, we identified some things that the board should do periodically. And the mission statement, I thought, was a good place to start. We haven't been able, because of the press of other issues before the break, we didn't take that up, so.
That's good to put it on the agenda every time, I think. That's a good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also to engender, this time to, if there's time to engender some discussion, some thoughts or reactions to it. As a patron, as a board member, et cetera. But if not, then we'll go on to new business. And how about the accessibility policy?
Sure. I was actually looking through old minutes and this, we started talking about this at Policy and Personnel last January. And so Elizabeth had shared that I think she and Hannah had attended a seminar talking about sort of accessibility regarding website. And it was mentioned to add that, create that policy or add it to your existing accessibility policy. Well, we don't have an accessibility policy.
Oh.
And so over the ensuing months, Elizabeth and Sarah both were reaching out and looking at what from other sources, other libraries, and coming up with what all the different areas, and it's huge. So looking at the appendices of the policy, it actually shows what the library is already doing. But the wording of the policy is really just that one paragraph. So it's a nifty policy and I really like it. So I think it sort of captures the intent, and that statement would be the one that gets the focus for today's discussion and vote. The appendices would be areas that those may change.
Yeah,
And
I think
so-
that's why we wanted to keep them appendices rather than
Right.
part of the policy, because they
Right.
probably will
Sure.
change.
And so I think
Yeah.
it's good to see them attached this way because it really gives the depth of all the areas of accessibility that are
Okay.
included.
There's also links if anybody wants to go.
I did have a question on the third sentence that starts to we commit. I just wasn't quite sure what we commit to meet the benchmark
Yeah, that's my
timeline
question.
on April 27th on the final rule for Title II of the ADA to ensure library. I'm not quite sure what we're meeting exactly. What are we?
It's a benchmark.
That fireman,
Yeah,
ADA, that our web content has to be fully accessible. And commit was the word that Judy insisted on. We have to, we're meeting our legal obligations.
Right. So the benchmark timeline on
That's
the
what,
final rule,
yeah,
but we don't have, but we're not doing anything on the final rule for Title II.
it's the final rule of Title II with regard to web content.
Right, so. So you couldn't say we commit to meet the deadline or commitment to, I just thought, at least I read it and I wasn't quite sure. I thought it was sort of awkwardly worded, to put it that way, but it may be words taken straight from the statute.
They were taken
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
the.
Okay,
It's
I didn't.
just a deadline, right?
And we had Judy Metcalf was on the discussion.
Somebody said something.
Tommy, did you say something?
It's just a deadline, right?
Right.
It's a deadline.
Yeah, by then we have to.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
It doesn't say
it's the
date.
wording of the
Doesn't
deadline.
Yeah,
say
it doesn't say deadline, it says benchmark
But
timeline.
that's
Their language.
In the ADA, so we lifted it directly.
Should there be a link?
Could we put deadline in parens or something? Cause it's, I read that sentence and it was like, what?
I
Maybe
think
committee.
they built in some wiggle. Is my thinking that they have a benchmark timeline, it's slightly different from a deadline. You know, if there are gonna be fees associated or, you know, if, so I think they deliberately made it flexible. Right.
Seeing the language itself, I think we should stick with what Judy.
No, especially if it's legal, you know, it's technical, but it doesn't read well. Let's put it that way for,
The la-
no, and I think it's actually a little easy, but, you know, it's fine. Okay.
Should there be any star or link
It's
there to
certainly not
explain it? Or
binding us.
It's not binding
But
us?
it's not necessarily saying we agree. You know, it's a
We're
different
following-
interpretation.
Gonna
yeah.
follow what is being
Well,
asked
It's,
us.
and then what question was, oh, the other thing, okay, I'm being persnickety about this, but the last sentence, questions or concerns may be directed to the libraries. I think it's the library's director, not executive director,
Right, that's right.
because that's the official title.
We've got so many different.
Yeah,
wording
I
of
think
that.
the position description says that.
Yeah, you're right.
I
and
think we
then-
did in the bylaws, right? Didn't we change it to the?
Yeah, pretty sure we did.
And then I guess Appendix B, the staff training is just, it's just a reference point. You're not making a commitment to give every employee training under one of these.
No, most likely the project enable, because that's a course that we would like staff to take, but those are just examples of what will be incorporated.
Okay. Okay. But you don't, go ahead, Tommy.
I have a really minor thing that I saw in the appendix C. I'll just point it out. There's a reference to Michigan State there. That probably just needs to be changed to the patent free. Second paragraph in appendix C.
Oh,
MSU
MSU.
library. Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Appendix C.
Oh, yeah.
Which one?
I mean,
Appendix C,
See?
the paragraph starts with this form.
Oh, I see. Oh, because we lifted that right from
Where
there.
you borrowed it from, I guess. Right.
That's not obvious.
There are no new ideas.
That's right.
No, you should, this stuff you shouldn't do from scratch, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Exactly. Maine State University.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. Okay, so this is, so you're not, okay. Well, this is just it's under staff training, just giving some examples, but the policy doesn't, it's not necessary in the policy
It's
to
not.
commit to a timeline for training within a certain timeline or anything like that.
so the only couple is the language about the policy, the appendices to kind of fill in how we, this is an aspirational
Yeah.
commitment. And it's to provide the board with some ideas of how we're gonna get there.
Okay,
Because the other thing that inspired it was the reimagined spaces, the
Right.
concept plan, so that's that also. Okay.
sure, of course. Okay. All right. With those small proofreading type changes.
Well, can I just,
Yeah,
I just didn't know, under the assistant technology, what does WCAG stand for? So later. I'm just curious.
oh, yeah.
Oh,
I hate
CAG,
Oh, no, no.
Title II.
That is.
Web content accessibility guidelines.
Yeah, that's.
Thank you.
That is the ADA requirements. Yeah, I can spell that out.
Content.
Okay, okay, this is the.
What was it? Web content?
Accessibility guide.
content
Oh.
accessibility guidelines,
Accessibility guidance.
Guidelines.
guidelines.
Guideline.
Guidelines.
So what that, so your page has to be readable, you have to have there's a lot.
Yada, yada. Yeah.
Yeah, up until, right.
But there's also, if you look at like the Curtis Library's website, there's widgets and things that can help us do that. We're not gonna, we're just, yeah, so it will be, we got it under control.
Yeah.
Good.
Right. Okay. Any other questions? If not, Michael made a motion to approve.
Second,
All in favor?
yes.
Okay, great. Approved. And now we come to the bylaws.
A summary sheet was very helpful with that.
I know, I was gonna say that, the
That's-
summary was so helpful.
That was Tommy.
Oh, Tommy, thank you.
Yes, this was all Tom.
Yeah.
Goes to him.
Well, somebody. That was really good.
Okay, so. So there were a number of changes, some of them more significant than others, obviously, and the summary really helps focus on them. Some of the major, well, I should say, why don't we start from that? You can look at the summary. Were there questions that came out of looking at the summary that you wanted to discuss? I'm sorry that Steve isn't here because he's the chair of the governance committee.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have many members here though.
Yeah. So there were some updates, tried to make the language more gender neutral. And then one big thing is the changing regarding the election of the officers. That would be done by the new board after the incorporators meeting in October, first meeting of the new board in November. It's felt that was more in line with sort of standard practice for organizations.
Yeah.
The elected members then choose the officers. Also, giving all of the served municipalities a permanent seat on the board. It will expand the membership a little bit, but that way, instead of having the rotating thing, which was felt it left, the people who rotate in for a year, sometimes the cycle isn't in line with when we start, with our major planning cycle. And also that takes time for anyone coming in new to learn the ropes and feel comfortable. And then that person is potentially gone because it's based on a rotation. So a representative from a different served municipality comes up. So it makes the utility and the impact, I think, in the contribution of municipal served municipality representatives very limited. And this felt that it was, by doing this, it would make the communities benefit the board by having some continuity of people on it who would develop some expertise. It also is good I think, in community relations, in saying that every served municipality has a representative on the board instead of a periodic one-year term. So that was the thinking behind that. How the served municipalities can choose to use it, how active they want to be. We even didn't set a length of term of office. So we leave that to the served municipalities. Because we want to give them the flexibility they think is best. We would hope they pick someone who's appropriate and who wants to continue beyond just the one-year term. So
Is the contemplation in that the municipality could pick a person that's not serving in a municipal position, so they could have a representative from the town of Woolwich.
Yes, wouldn't be someone who's limited to a government office.
It could be, but it wouldn't have to be.
Doesn't have to be.
I mean, it could be a select board member if
Sure.
that's what they chose, or a council, city council.
In that instance, the selectmen would be limited by a term. Would we then ask each municipality to, if they're putting in a layperson, should that term be limited in some way?
I don't think so, because if their term, they're still a resident of that municipality. So I don't know why. I mean, I think it would be up to that leadership.
Just note that that only unlimited term on the board. Just saying.
That came late in that was actually, I think, our last meeting.
Yeah.
Came out,
Yeah.
because of some of the confusion around if it's a 3-year term, I mean, how to. I know for me personally, I thought the idea of it being a 3-year term like other trustees made sense, so that there's that equivalent time commitment.
Yeah, we discussed that, that whole issue, quite a bit. And at one point, we did think that would be the 3-year, they have a 3-year term, and then we wanted to leave it more open to the community. In case, we also thought it could be hard to find a person willing to commit, for the municipality to find somebody to commit for 3 years, perhaps. So we decided we would give the municipality more flexibility.
My only point, it would be the only term. Municipality appoints a layperson, not a municipal official. There's no limitation of a person's term.
Chris says this.
Chris, yeah. Yeah, Chris.
Well, it's not meant to be in a municipal official necessarily. That's.
Yeah,
It is in Bath's case, but it's never been the case at other towns.
Yeah.
Chris, did you want?
Yes, I think in discussing that, and I sent some notes to Steve, the idea that, for example, in Bath, there's election in November, new counselors in December, committee assignments in January. So the old language of syncing it up with the October just wasn't going to work. And I really thank the board for revisiting this. I do think maybe it went a little too far, and I think some language that addresses the municipal representatives or served community representatives, however that's stated, there should be some, must be recertified every so often. But the other thing, getting back to some discussion within the city of Bath and again with Steve privately, was the idea that if somebody was on the a trustee and their municipal term expired, because I guess some towns do their elections in June, but the municipality was happy to have that person continue for 6 months, a year, or whatever to the end of a 3-year term or something. I think there should. I agree with the concern that it shouldn't just be unlimited. There should be some little statement in there that says that they should be reconfirmed at least every 3 years or something by the municipality or some check. But I don't know how to say that exactly. Thank you.
Okay. Suki.
I'm still having really hard time getting my head around this because it's having been served in this, and I think I'm seeing too many of the pitfalls that we can fall into if given that, if some of the situations would seem really hard town meetings, the select board might decide to appoint somebody who I'm somebody who's gonna be against the library. And I can see that could be, I think we ought to be able to talk to people with different opinions, which we all do anyway, but I think that it could lead us, it could lead us into down the road to some difficult situations because we have no control over them.
Well, no, that's not the case. That's not the case, Suki. We do have the same ability to remove a trustee just as we do any other elected trustee.
But how would to have that be with a community, if we removed somebody that the municipality appointed, I think that the ill will that would generate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Public could be very bad.
Yeah.
That exists now already. I mean, in theory, even someone appointed for a year proves to be very unsuitable. We could go ahead and the board could remove that person anyway. Now, so it's really not a change. I think.
It's because you're bringing a more it just is loose enough that it makes me very nervous.
How would you amend it? I mean, I don't have that. I'm willing to risk it. I do hear about the unlimited term.
I understand, I think it's really good to to get the municipalities involved, and I think that's there's the impetus to try to do this in the first place. But I've just been talking to different people, and especially my husband.
Yeah.
Was adamant. And he's gonna bring it up at the meeting.
Okay.
He will
Yeah.
and he will be very.
Yeah, I talked with Roger too. And
I know you
he
did.
brought it up, yeah.
Yeah.
I conveyed his.
And I had a really interesting discussion with Susan Beagle. And she has the same concern and saw the same issues that we were concerned about. So that we just sort of reinforced.
So is the concern about the indefinite term?
Is having 5 members that are come into the board with no experience and no control from the board. That's a big change to the board. What do you think?
But the board.
But we don't control who comes in now from the
No, but you
communities.
don't usually have 1 or 2. You have 1 or 2 people coming
Right.
on. You don't have 5 coming on.
Right.
I mean, it does broaden your your ability to people on committees and things like that. I mean, there are advantages.
Yeah.
I think there are, but it just makes me very nervous, and I'm just telling you that that's
Okay.
going to
Well,
happen.
what would you suggest as an alternative?
That's why I'm.
I don't think the municipal representative is necessary.
So you would.
You'd eliminate it.
You would
Eliminate all together.
eliminate, so
Oh.
you would have
Yeah,
no
that's it.
representative, no municipal representative
No,
at all.
I'd rather draw on the corporators. If you could pull the corporators in and use those as the feeders to the board, I think that makes more sense.
Well, I think
already
that's what
are.
we try to do,
Yeah.
but it doesn't
Yeah.
always.
But we don't work that. Do we work hard at it? I don't know if we do. Would we work hard at it?
The intent is also to supply guidelines to the municipalities about,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes,
develop
we
a
do.
document that would be shared.
Well, we have already the document about the role, we have about the role of the trustee, for example.
To your point, can you just reiterate the total number? So there would be 5 municipal
Right.
and how many regular? 15.
12.
12.
Well,
It's a big.
17.
12.
17.
Yeah.
So it goes up to 17.
And one municipal we have already, we have Bath that's standing, so it's
Right.
really 4 new.
And
Right.
RSC 1 is
It's gone.
Eliminated.
no longer.
It's gone.
I mean, the other side to that is obviously it brings a diversity of opinions.
I
in.
do, and I
It
think
brings
that's very
in
good.
It makes those other communities feel like they're participating. It makes those other communities perhaps want to give more.
Yeah.
And this year, we had one community that was difficult, but the budgetary work that was done by the staff and
Right.
the
It's huge. It
representatives,
made a big
it
difference, yeah.
prevailed.
The preparation,
you-
yeah.
The balance of the vote, I think, is on doing what's best for the library. So I would tend to go with Chris's suggestion on the 3-year, perhaps 3-year limitation.
Mhm.
as a reasonable compromise. for
Which
that.
is interesting because that's where we started.
That's where we started.
That's where we started,
Yeah.
and then so, yeah, some of us, yeah, I have no problem with the 3-year.
Well, we didn't really spin that as a limit. Like what Chris said was really a reaffirmation that you want this guy to continue to serve rather than appointing somebody different every 3 years. I think that's the thing that, Steve was adamant about not doing that, and I kind of agree with that position, but I don't think suggestion of saying revisit it every 3 years so that you just don't set and forget for the next decade or whatever. That's really that's what you want to do, I think.
Okay, so what's the language that
Yeah,
instead of
where is it?
a term,
Make sure where it goes.
you're talking not a
Let's see
term
where we-
limitation, but a revisiting, and I guess I'm wondering what that. how do you-
Yeah,
What make that look?
maybe it's sending a memo to the library every 3 years. Yes, please continue this person as trustee. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough.
And do we want to have them, do we want to have them staggered in so that they come in at different terms like we are?
I would say, no, I think if we open this up to community representation, certain municipalities, they should all have the opportunity to come in as soon as possible.
Okay.
To reaffirm their,
But could they come in on 1 year, 2 year, or 3 year terms?
Yes,
Yeah.
the way we have it worded now, they could come in.
But right now,
But-
on this, there's no limitation.
No limitation.
That's just for the rest of us as trustees.
Yeah,
right.
right.
So what the language we're talking about, Tommy and Chris, is we say we're setting a sort of it has to be reconfirmed after 3 years. No more than three years. There would be,
Is there any time to work on this before this meeting and the time?
well, the governance committee will meeting again.
Yes.
And we can vote by email about presenting the modified version to the corporate.
Yeah, I think that we could do it.
That might be the way to
So,
bring this to a close, this.
so is that what, do I sense a consensus that
I think
this,
so too. I think that's a good point. Find the right language to sort of indicate that it's not a.
Is
not like
is
a
that
appointment.
is that preferable than having a concrete like term limit, like maybe 7 years or something longer than the 3 years, where you could have somebody in for a while, but have a timeout eventually.
I think
well,
I wouldn't do it.
I would say it would be, I think that would make it harder to find someone. If you set a really long term,
Right.
even 3 years might be.
not only
difficult.
that, but we would all term out and then that, how can I put it? That issue would remain outstanding for the next people that come in
Yeah,
to
yeah.
learn for themselves. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So that language is gonna.
yeah, so
Section 3.
what is it?
I mean, we can talk about it at the governance committee, but is that where it would go in under Article 4, Section 3? Because right now, all that reads is that one sentence.
Right. So what's the sense of what people would like to see in that section? So that when we go back to the
I think
committee,
the word Tommy was looking for was
Research.
maybe reappointment.
Well, it was like reappointment. I don't know whether that's the right word, but I mean, you could just make a procedure whereby the library asks each municipality every 3 years of somebody's term, if you still want this person to serve, or do you want to appoint somebody different? And just to have them answer yes or no kind of forces them to think about it and tell the library their answer.
Well, you could ask the municipality to conduct an evaluation of the person's term. And then, appoint or seek reappointment. That way, at least the municipality would make a phone call, I think, to some people on the board or whatever, or the director to assess whether the person is doing a good job showing up or whatever.
Right.
Another variation is to
Chris's hand on.
Oh, sorry,
Chris has
Chris.
something.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, no, I just want to say that, my limited experience here is that I think the actual problem is going to be the opposite of what you're talking about. I mean, I do agree that there should be some language. I think ordinary corporate or trustees, not that anybody in the room is ordinary, is that after 3 consecutive terms, you have to do something. So that's a 9-year cap, and there needs to be something for the municipal people. But I think what you'll find is that, in somebody's second year of their select board term, they're going to get on the library board, and then whether they go a year beyond their term, I think people are going to, these positions are still going to churn probably more frequently than 3 years. I mean, I agree that there should be some language in there, but I think probably what would be more important, let's say next year I don't run for reelection or I get run out of town on a rail, and so I decide to give up the library thing. That would only be 2 years. And I think that having a sentence about how to fill vacancies or whatever, or how is at least as important as worrying about somebody setting up a decades long empire position. Because I think that my experience is the people in these municipal positions move on, and there's a high turnover.
Doesn't have to
Just
be a
be a
municipal
layperson,
officer
yeah.
though.
But that,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, it
But they
doesn't
don't
have,
have to leave. I
Doesn't
mean,
have to be a municipal officer.
if they don't stay in office, they could still stay on the library.
Yeah,
They
Right.
can, but I think that only some will choose to do that.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
they
it
should
may be less-
Your terms though.
it may be less likely in the municipalities other than Bath that the select board, that it's not a select board member. Because I think, like in our town, there were only 3 select board members, so
Right.
you have a wider pool in Bath. So I
Absolutely.
think it's unlikely, in fact, certainly in Georgetown, that
Yeah.
one of the select board would want to be on the board.
Right.
It would be someone else that they select.
How about this wording of I'm saying that the person appointed serves for a 3-year, no longer than a 3-year term, and subject to reconfirmation or by the governing body, municipal authorities. So that way, someone who's, the town council, whatever wants to say, wants to appoint someone for 1 year or 2 years, should they have that flexibility? And then, but then at the 3-year mark, then they have to confirm or re-up the person. And again, subject, to the same, they can serve another 3-year term, but if we want to give the local government some flexibility, and hopefully they may find it more attractive, people recruit people and saying, well, 3 years maximum before being re-upped. So if they find a good person, but he or she wants to serve just 2 years, they have the flexibility to do that. Because I think finding people will be, maybe challenging.
Yeah.
And then onboarding them is another issue too.
Right, but yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
But I don't know
for all
what-
trustees.
So they could choose to re-up once they learn what's on the
Yeah, sure.
table.
Yeah.
Sure, that's right. And if they get subject to the, the confirmation or endorsement of the local government. Yeah. Should we work on some language in that regard?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. Is that, people agree to that?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we'll do.
So should we, we're gonna vote by email, so.
Yeah, we'll do it by email.
You know,
Governance committee
do
work
that for
on
the
it.
governance committee.
Yeah,
And is the governance committee next week?
18th, I think, does that sound right?
Okay, coming up, yeah, just a
Yes,
reminder,
yeah,
yeah,
because we're the
as,
se-
as,
yeah,
as
17th,
Carl and
I say.
many of you know, the packet to the corporators has to go out 20 days in advance of the meeting, so our meeting is October 20th, so by the end of September, these have to be approved by the board to go to them.
Okay,
so the
Otherwise, it
governance meeting is Friday, the 19th.
Okay.
The next,
Friday the 19th.
Okay.
Okay.
Shit, I don't know if I can make the 19th.
19, okay. Yeah, I have two. All right, to that. It's now 6 o'clock, when this we're doing. I'd say, do you want to talk a 5-minute review about the, anything about mission statement or?
I have there's
Gotcha,
one more
Jane.
thing on the bylaws though. I don't know if
Okay.
we realized it, on the restore the requirement that all officers be trustees. We realized then that the treasurer will be termed out at 9 years, and then we have to find a new treasurer. Is that, were we aware that that's what's happening? Or could we put something in there so that we can keep a treasurer who's very good? Because that's sometimes hard. I mean, like, we've had a treasurer that lasted for decades.
Okay.
I hadn't realized that we might want to get rid of them, but.
Yeah, because the treasurer's a trustee,
Right,
therefore
but
subject.
we just made them a trustee.
Right, yes.
But then I hadn't realized that was, somebody told me that, do you realize that this is what's gonna happen? So I don't know if we realized that that's what we done.
Yes, I think we,
Did we really?
I think the governance committee reckoned that that's not a terribly challenging activity to find a new treasurer. But I don't know.
Well, the position is probably not what it once was. The position now is one where you look at information that's fed to you by
Right.
Leslie and by.
Definitely changed since I've been here. We're doing much more work internally among staff,
yeah.
and that's correct. So I'd have to agree.
It's like a
with
role.
that.
Did we pay
Yes.
they're the person who
Yes.
paid the treasurer, right?
Treasurer's, right, it's no, it's not
In
a
the
paid
past.
position.
But in the past.
In the
yes,
past,
That's
they
what I
were.
mean.
Yes.
So that's a
Yeah.
whole different
It's a
Yeah.
different
situation.
I just wondered if.
Yeah.
But
No, we
I hadn't
were-
I hadn't remember thinking about that, so that's why.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I think.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut short, the discussion about the bylaws.
Thank you.
There are other subjects, issues.
One, I mean, I've repeated this in the minutes, but I just
Yeah.
wanted to bring it to the board, and it's in Article 1, Section 2, and it's just trying to soften the language about, because the per capita level, let's see, is the city of Bath, there's now not going to be a consistent per capita level for funding.
Article 1, Section.
Section 2. Which contributes to the support of the Patent Free Library at a level determined by the trustees. So that's different language than
Yeah.
the same per capita level as the
Right.
city of Bath. So one of them is the city of Bath is being asked to come, that they're raising higher than per capita level, but.
It's like per capita, isn't it a per capita number, but it's just at a higher rate?
It's weighted.
Yes, it's weighted
It's
though.
weighted, yeah.
Yes.
Wait, so that they're just, it's a higher rate, but it's still per capita, right?
Because that's how the board's choosing to do it now.
Oh.
I think we wanna keep it, there could be other models in the future.
But I think some of the ideas for altering that language made it sound too much like a negotiation. I think that was the concern that the others in the committee had. It's like, because it's got to be worded such that at the end of the day, the trustees have to make a decision about what that number is for all the municipalities.
Yeah, for me, it was to say, because I think it's a sensitive spot for some of the municipalities, that it's just a take it or leave it option, which I understand the trustees have to be the final say. But I thought just adding language, something like in communication with the municipalities, which that doesn't really give them
I think.
a say, but just something. I don't know how many people are gonna really look at the.
I think it's
bylaws.
incumbent on us and Leslie and whoever serves in that position and the board members who approach the municipality at those meetings to explain what the considerations are in coming up with the request. So I think we have to trust in that process.
That's what's, yeah,
And
That's
it
what's
may
been
come
done.
up,
but
though,
that's what's been questioned, so it's hard.
but per capita may very well come up in that discussion. So
Exactly.
it's something that we should be prepared to address,
Yeah. I think,
regardless of whether it's in there or not.
and that's always longstanding practices, I think, is to lay out, and I've seen Leslie do it, justify the number, the figure that's been arrived at, show the rationale. And, if it's empirically, you can support it empirically, then we do that. I respectfully disagree with you, Leah, on this. I just think it opens up to idea that's negotiation or a consultation. And then every community will start saying,
Negotiating with you,
Yeah.
yeah.
do this and.
In furtherance of what you're saying, just like tonight, we heard West Bath had that big increase in the students, children using the library.
That's all.
That should be part of this too, not just.
Sure.
Yeah, no,
What-
that's understood.
When you send out, Leslie, to the communities, you send out the amount that already has been determined.
The funding request, is that what you're
Funding
asking?
request.
Yes, that has an amount.
Has an amount.
Mhm.
Have you had so you haven't had discussion with the community before that, right? Or have you? Before you send the amount out, the letter that goes with the amount?
No,
So there hasn't been communication before the set amount.
no, because usually the funding request goes out right after the board has approved the budget, so we don't know what that amount is.
That's,
That's
No.
her, yeah, that's
Yeah.
her.
I think this is where the role of the municipal trustee really is important, because we've got every single town has agency in the process of approving the budget, which is where the municipal support levels are decided. So I think that change in the trustee appointment, I think, really goes a long way to address that issue.
Yeah, I think that agreeing with Tommy and also we're used to getting, whether it's the school budget or the county budget, this is not like the only item that municipalities get, that it's kind of a take it or leave it, here's the bill. And I think that the increase in the municipal representation on the board kind of, I would certainly say at the beginning of the budget process that, hey, it looks like it's going to be a really hard budget year. We need to respect that and help the municipalities. And you will have heard that in advance. And if some miracle happens and the opposite were to be true, you'd know about that too.
And then you could tell stories about those conversations at town meetings to help,
Exactly.
to help share what sort of the thought process was by actual town residents who are on the board.
yeah. Okay, thanks.
All right. Thanks. Future discussion. Anything else regarding the proposed changes to the bylaws? Considering the time, why don't we?
Motions, as I was going to motion.
You were going to motion.
Wow.
I'm on the spot.
You want to take, just, you can cogitate if you want to on the mission statement. We can talk about that next time. Unless people want to get into it now. I think it's pretty strong. If I were writing it, I'd maybe make it a little less flowery, but that's me. So.
Can I just throw one thing out there? As I was reading it, it occurred to me that there's nothing in there about some of the really great work that we've been doing about accessibility of our materials and our building and everything. I think there should be something in there about equitable access.
Oh, good idea.
So something like, and builds community through joyful, creative exploration, equitable access, and dialogue, something like that. That's my 2 cents. Sorry, I know this wasn't an editing session for this thing, but that did strike me when I was reading that.
Good, thank you.
That sounds good, Tom.
It is good.
You're sounding incredibly woke.
He is in Washington right now.
Yeah.
Washington?
Is it Washington? Oh, is he? Oh, geez.
Well, I
Yes.
was thinking more about digital equity than anything, because that's, that's a big problem in my town. People that we just had this great installation of broadband internet in our town, and nobody knows how to watch TV now. So there is a great divide between, those that know technology and those that don't. So
Exactly.
Have to do a training.
I like his suggestion because it gets back to making sure that all people can receive services. And when we talk about accessibility as far as buildings, that's included too. Yes, it might be woke, but I think it's said in such a way that it's inspiring and it's ageless in its language. I think that's a great suggestion.
Yeah, I like it.
Hope it doesn't disqualify us from federal funding.
Right, for the next few years.
Yeah.
Well, it's just going back to the bylaws. So is everybody then comfortable with the governance committee going ahead and, doing the tweaks and also what we discussed today going forward? I just wanted to be
Yeah,
clear on that.
We'll see it again.
You'll see it again.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
but, okay.
Yes.
If I were writing the mission statement, I would probably, instead of saying transforms lives, I would say enriches.
Oh, enriches is another one. That's a good one.
I don't know, that's me, so.
One of the things I will do, Carl, when this mission statement came out of our 2012 strategic plan, and I can look back in the notes and how we arrived in some of those specific words. Yeah.
Helpful.
Yeah, if you just punch it into an AI thing, you might come out. Might be done.
Ask chat.
I have one more question.
Yes.
Did you guys plan the socks?
Like what?
Plan the socks?
Are you wearing
You
the
and
same
Peggy.
sock? Same sock.
No. Should probably say
Oh.
Bridges.
Look at that, the whole meeting, I'm like, I did not get the memo.
Oh, that's great.
I know who to call if it wasn't in the wash.
Yeah.
From Wilson's originally. It's
Where they
funny.
from?
One final note, just our next meeting will be on the 14th of October.
I think I have.
And if there's nothing,
I like this too.
Make a motion to adjourn.
is there a second?
Yes. Oh, yeah, yes. Second.
All right, all in favor?
Yes.
Thank you.
Wow.
6:14.
Wow.
Well done.
We had a lot to go through today, and that's after 2 months. That's great.
I learned it's not like what we typed in, we did their kind of actual signatures. There's double